Hey, Chin Music listeners, welcome to episode 23 of Chin Music with Mitch and Tony. We're your hosts, Mitch Bone and Tony Legaly. Tony, how the heck are you today, man?
Mitch, looking forward to this, man. Always. Yeah, we kind of had a busy stretch there, and then, we're just getting together here later in the week, and, man, doing well. Just adapting to new weather and all variables. So things are good, man. How are you?
Oh, things are good. Didn't you love last night? It was almost 8 o'clock when the sun went down.
It was nice. It was odd, I will say, to get used to a little bit. We didn't change the oven timer, but we changed. But the phones update, so we were a little tripped out when it was 7 o'clock, and we were kind of eating dinner yet. We were like, oh. So, but we got daylight savings, and starting to be that time of year. We had a nice little weekend full of beautiful weather. Today's pretty cloudy, but one more weekend like that, shoot, the old landscaping business is off and running for the year.
Heck yeah.
So that'll be fun. But man, no, had checked out the Class B men's and women's basketball championship, high school Class B at the Metra. Did a little promotion event there for Big Sky Life and Scholar Guard, and I was just out there kind of giving us some exposure and whatnot, and I got to watch pretty good basketball over the weekend. So glad that that's over though.
Heck yeah. The B level is so good. I always enjoy watching those games. I wasn't able to make it out this weekend, sadly, but
yeah, it's great.
Yeah, I always enjoy those.
Yeah,
so, for sure.
Yeah, no, just getting rolling back in the week, and like I said, hoping for some traction in the professional world, and a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
Got a hockey tournament coming up this weekend. One of the only tournaments I play in. So that'll be fun.
And then did I see as well that there's a charity hockey game going on here in Billings in like a week and a half or so?
Yeah, you're right. So Battle of the Badges. So there was a tournament that kicked off the year, and then I'm sure they'll do the tournament next year. It's a fundraiser for all the first responders. Really good cause. You're playing with cops and firefighters and leaders. It's just a fun group of guys. And what they're doing now is this time of year to end the season, they're doing one game, and it's just firefighters versus cops. You got to be a first responder kind of a deal. I played with those guys last year in the tournament, but they're just kind of doing their own thing in this game. So big fundraiser for those guys. It's some form of nightly entertainment hockey in this community, so I encourage you to maybe check it out. All for a good cause, good group of guys. Should be a good skate.
That's awesome. So they also do something like this during the summer with baseball, and they have a game at Dealer.
Who is this? The cops and the firefighters?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I think they've had like 2 or 3 of them.
Man. Shoot. That'd be fun to play in.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they have them during the summer, and I didn't go to the one last year, but I'd heard about it, and could be fun for you to get involved in this year.
Oh, yeah. I know, right? Yeah. Just, anyhow, but Mitch, got some fun, exciting stuff coming up in our world as far as the upcoming sports schedule and just kind of what's in store for the months to come here. Kicking it off.
Yeah.
First and foremost with March Madness is right around the corner.
It's a little over a week away, and so Chid Music is going to be doing its first annual bracket challenge, Tony.
Boom.
Yeah. I know you love filling out your brackets because you're a gambling man.
Winner gets $1 million.
No.
Oh, not doing that.
No,
I'm sorry.
no.
I thought we talked about that.
If we could swing $1 million, that'd be awesome. But we just can't yet.
Yeah, fair enough.
So we're gonna be doing that. When I post this video on YouTube, I will also post the link to our Chin Music. I don't know, pick'em group. I don't know what they call it, but I will post the link to that. So anybody that wants to join can. And there is an entry fee to get in, so you'll see how to do that. And
It's only $2,500 for an entry.
Yeah, it's only $2,500 small, pocket
Taxable.
change. So
Yeah, you can write it off.
yeah, no, it's $25. We're making it easy for people to get into this thing.
Okay.
We don't want to bankrupt people for getting into our bracket, Tony.
Mitchell, now bracket bracketology selection Sunday. Who is the team right now in college basketball? Undisputed, well-rounded, whether you like them or not, or you want to go on a Pac-12 rant or whatever the hell you think.
You know what? I will not go on a Pac-12 rant because Pac-12 sucks at basketball.
Pac-12 is basically non-existent anymore.
After this year, they're not. Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, the only team that's worth a damn is Arizona.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But okay. So who's your team projected to win it all?
So I have two. I think either Purdue. They have a 7'3" guy, Zach Edey, who's really good. And last year they actually got upset in the first round last year as a number 1 seed. So I think they're going to come out a little bit pissed off this year and kind of run the table. And then I don't know how many people know this about me, but I am a huge North Carolina Tar Heel fan.
Shocker.
They are my basketball team. Jordan and Vince Carter suckered me in.
You and everybody else's mother.
And but I do really like their team. I love Armando Bacot in the middle. He's an absolute beast. He one thing that UNC has that a lot of teams in college basketball don't have because of the one and done rule. They have a lot of age, and so Bacot, I think, is a 5th-year senior, and so they just have that experience of being deep in the March Madness where other teams may not have that. So that's kind of why I'm choosing them this year.
What do you think is important, for someone like myself, where I just, kind of look at each matchup and, look at the strength in school and conference they play in and, kind of what they're known for or what history they've already built in whatever sport I'm looking at. Would you recommend to me a stat to maybe consider when I'm selecting these teams that are maybe too close to call or anything? Is there anything specific you would look at from a fan base that would jump out at you and give you a better edge on the game itself as far as who's going to win?
Yeah, so in that first round, obviously there's 16 teams on each bracket, and there's usually a few upsets. And the one seeding that seems to get the most upsets is the 5 and 12 matchup.
Mm-hmm.
The last few years, that matchup has had so many upsets. And I don't know if it's because the 12s are one example, I think Yale won it one year as a 12 seed. They're winners of just a bad division. The Ivy League is not great.
Right.
So I don't know if it's just because they're winning that division and they're maybe just as good as the 4th or 5th place team in the Big Ten, and it just doesn't get shown because they're in a crappy division that doesn't have any competition.
Right.
So that one is always one that you want to look out for. Sometimes the 4-13 And then for teams to bet on or bet against, I don't know if they're going to make it because I haven't followed them that closely. But if Michigan State is in there, always bet for them, at least to make it out of the first round. They have Tom Izzo, who's one of the best coaches in the whole sport, and I will ride on that. I will die on that hill for as long as he is coaching at Michigan State. And then a team to bet against is Virginia.
Virginia.
They always choke. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, they're good for like the Elite Eight, and then they're done, right?
Not even that. Sometimes, like they were one of the teams too. They were a 1 seed a few years ago, and they lost to a 16 seed. Which before them, I don't know if it had ever happened. Because usually 16 seeds are like the Big Sky Conference. And number 1 seeds are like the Dukes, the UNCs, the Kansas, Gonzagas.
Yeah.
The absolute like best of the best. So it just doesn't happen.
Right. Well, yeah, no, matchups are critical. Pass matchup stats, that's kind of what you're saying. Yeah, it'd be interesting. I'll see kind of what I really want to dive into it since that's kind of what we do.
Yeah, and I think part of the reason why those 13 and 12s do so well is because they are usually winners of their conference. They're just in a lesser conference than what the 6, 7, 5 seeds are because they're usually the 4th or 5th best team in a power conference.
Good deal. So that should be exciting. So where did you say people can check out on Facebook?
On Facebook, or I will post it on YouTube for people that are on our YouTube. I know we don't have much of a following there. Okay. But Facebook for Chin Music with Mitch and Tony. It should be right up at the top or near the top. I'll keep reposting it every few days. And, just get as many people in there as possible. And once you see the post, you'll see how to enter and where to send us the entry fee. So,
right. All right. Good deal. Well, it should be an exciting deal. Mitchell, we have quite a bit of not too much, but we got some pretty big things happening in the NHL world in regards to the trade deadline.
Yeah, I saw they just had their trade deadline. So I know I do this every week to you, Tony, and I feel terrible. But this is your segment of the show because I don't know jack about hockey.
Hey, and that's what we're going to call this segment. I don't know, something. Regardless, some of the top highlighted teams that got a great chance of winning the Stanley Cup, as is the Carolina Hurricanes, went out and got Jake Gensel, kind of getting his nets up. So Gensel's like a first liner from the Penguins, Kuznetsov's been a rock for the Capitals for the last 5-10 years. Big move on their part. Carolina's got a kind of a gritty, physical playoff style team as is to add those goal scorers and kind of those skill guys. They should be a real threat moving forward. So some of the other ones, the Abs went out. Got Casey Middlestad from Buffalo. Middlestad leading the Sabres in points, so they picked up kind of another weapon. They also had Sean Walker. Abs are tough. We'll see. I think they got a legitimate chance of hoisting it this year, cup-wise. The Stars, as is before the trade deadline, really just needed some help defensively. Now they have really every component. Called up a guy in their system, and then got Chris Tanev is a trade as well. So they're a top contender. And then let's just cut to the chase here, because this is what really matters. Besides the Florida Panthers being on a complete heater right now and looking like they're going to breeze through the playoffs, they added Vladimir Tarasenko, which is a big skill guy for them, because the Florida Panthers are kind of infamously going throughout the league right now, knowing that they're a tough team. Nobody really wants to play them. They're kind of a bunch of bullets, Mitch.
Wow.
So to add a big skill guy like that ups their chances tremendously. Let's see here. Last but not least, like I said, cutting to the chase, the Las Vegas Golden Knights, Mitchell.
Yes.
They started off out of the gate like a bat out of hell. Hands down, the best 10 out of 10 rating in regards to trade deadline moves.
Wow.
They acquired essentially 3 1 to 2 line caliber skilled players to their lineup without giving up a single lineup spot. So they're giving up big draft picks. Made good deals with those draft picks that they did give up, and they're kind of going all in, saying we want to win another cup. So now Eichel's back healthy. They picked up Tomas Hertl, I would say San Jose's most talented player. Noah Hannafin from the Flames, top defenseman that was available. They got him. And then Anthony Mantha from the Caps. I mean, Mantha was leading that team in points. I mean, this Vegas Golden Knights team is trying to rock and roll again. So good to see from a fan perspective, considering they started out red hot, like I said, and kind of made their same sort of path that they made last year at this time, whereas mid-December through mid-February has just been real tough for those guys. They're a very in-depth, talented team that can generate opportunities just from that. But they had Eichel out, now Mark Stone, the captain's out. And so Eichel's back now. Big 3 pieces they just added. Tough to win in the playoffs or regular season in Las Vegas. So big push, hoping coming from the Knights. So that's kind of what that's the kind of the big ones for the deadline.
That's awesome. So I will add a little bit to this hockey conversation.
Let's go.
Because I was watching SportsCenter the other night, right around the trade deadline. So I knew a few of these moves, but I didn't know who they were, so I wasn't even going to mention them. Yeah. And one of the guys was talking about how if you don't have a goalie, you have nothing in hockey. And he was surprised that there weren't more moves centered around goalies in the trade deadline.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I know, like, Markstrom was on the table from Calgary, and I don't think he got moved at all. I have to fact check myself there, but I know that was a big one. Everyone was kind of considering, like, someone would pick him up. And I think it kind of I think it was all kind of contingent, truly. The reason why is because there was a couple teams on the bubble where they could either go make a playoff push by making some moves, by putting themselves in a position to make that decision. And I think the teams that really were on that bubble kind of fell on the opposite side of the progression, let's move forward side of the bubble. And so that's probably why we didn't see a ton because of, of those bubble teams. But, because the top tier teams, like, I mean, they're pretty well set.
Yeah.
Goaltending wise. So.
Yeah. And then my other question is, you brought up Vegas Golden Knights basically, sold their farm and sold their future for these trades here. And I'm a believer, of course, my sports background. I'm a huge Raiders fan and a huge Mariners fan, and that's all we do is draft people that don't pan out, but we draft people.
Right.
And so what are your beliefs in that, either trading the farm and trading, a bunch of draft picks to win now, or having a bunch of draft picks and hopefully building a dynasty?
Man, there's just so much development that goes on with players, and draft picks are great, I think, but like Bedard goes in this year in Chicago, and dude's a freak of nature, and
Right.
So he's an exception to the rule, in hockey. Bryce Harper or top loaded play, like they're exception to the rule that way. Selling your future, you can look at it two different ways, really. You can. I mean, and I don't know the financial system in regards to how these businesses or entities, I should say, grow in themselves, because it makes you wonder how much money they actually have versus, or how much is generated versus how many moves are made with that kind of money. And I know that there's a thing in hockey right now that everybody kind of is taking advantage of. I'm not sure the specifics of it, but I do know it has something to do with going on the IL and cap space and how they're able to sign dudes and when not to sign them. And so that's why the trade deadline is kind of a big kind of a deal.
Yeah. So they kind of manipulate the system to get more players for less money.
I think it's just kind of been brought to light as kind of a loophole, but like one of those loopholes that the timing. So basically, like they're saying, like that guys like Eichel and Stone, like Stone did it last year, where he didn't play like half the season, the second half of the season, and then came back playoffs, Knights in the Cup. He's fully healthy. He's got fresh legs, like all that stuff. So
interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And so you see, this is the other side of me here. So obviously the NHL does this with resting. I'm going to call it that because if he was a healthy scratch, and I don't hear anything about it. But then the NBA has players resting, and I will admit it's a little excessive. And that's all you hear about.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
It's interesting. Just the difference in sports.
Yeah, and I don't know that there's that much of that going on in the game of hockey itself, but I could be wrong. So, but that is the big news from the NHL right now. So playoffs are right around the corner. Everybody's kind of making their last push here, and fun time to watch some hockey, that's for sure.
For sure. And, we'd be remiss to say it. I know that we kind of dog on the NBA a lot here because we're not the biggest NBA fans, either of us. But it is close to the NBA playoffs. I did watch a Kings game the other day because my brother's home, and he's a massive Kings fan. So the NBA playoffs are super close. All the teams are like, I think there's like in the West, let me put it this way. There's like 4 or 5 games that separate 5th place and 11th, which is like the cutoff for the play-in tournament.
Mm-hmm.
That's just insane to me.
Wow. Absolutely.
Like that you can be within 5 games, either sitting pretty, not having to play the play-in tournament, or completely out of the playoffs.
Yeah.
And it's just like, that's nuts. The East is a little bit easier, but the West is just a juggernaut, and it's crazy.
Well, that'll be exciting, I guess.
Yeah. Yep. I know you're not an NBA fan. I
No. I just, I have to throw my 2 cents in.
But no, I will say I watched, like I said, the Kings game the other day. They lost, but I have a love-hate relationship with the NBA.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to say this. I don't know how closely you follow this at all, but we got the Masters coming up too.
We do, yeah.
I don't know if you know off the cuff, kind of who is the favorite there, and kind of what who you're leaning towards there. But we are getting close to the Masters.
Here's what I'm going to say about golf, and it's really too bad. So they had that Live Golf that started a couple years ago that was paying athletes a boatload of money.
Right.
And that has ruined the PGA. Because why wouldn't you go to a place that's going to guarantee you a paycheck?
Right.
And guarantee you a hefty paycheck if you're like the Phil Mickelsons of the world. Compared to the PGA where, hey, if I don't perform, I'm not getting paid well.
Right.
Now, getting paid well is contrary because, they're all getting paid well. But you know what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
And so I think Live Golf ruined the PGA, personally. So it's hard to even know who's in it anymore because all the good ones that I knew, like Phil Mickelson, Koepka, they all went to Live.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so let me understand this correctly because I think what you're saying is totally pertinent to the following and everything. So, like, guys that are members of Live currently, like, they're not playing the PGA, therefore they won't be playing the Masters even if they've won it years prior. Is there anybody that has won the Masters that is currently a member?
Well, now here's where I'm going to be a little bit of eating crow here. So, it looks like they can. I think there are certain events that Live golfers can play in, and I think the Masters might be one of them. Because Koepka played in it last year.
Okay.
And he's a Live golfer. I know that for a fact. So,
okay.
If I had to pick a winner, it would probably be Brooks Koepka. And I hate to say that with him being a Live golfer and not a PGA guy, but he's just so strong. He hits the ball so hard. Harder than anyone, I think, in the whole thing. And so he would be who I would pick.
Love it. Golf and the weather and everything is turning, right? So gives us an opportunity, and I wanted to bring this up on the show.
Yes.
I was fortunate enough to kind of, we were big thank you to Peter Yagan Golf Course. Randy Northrup is a big sponsor of our show and helps us out with things. And we needed to update his advertising, as you know, Mitchell, because we were running the holiday message. So I called the clubhouse and tried to get someone, couldn't get anybody. Well, I ended up getting in touch with a guy by the name of Andy Cortez. You know Andy, Mitchell?
I don't know Andy. I probably should, but I don't.
Yeah, not a problem. So I didn't know him either, and it turns out we have quite a bit in common. And so the reason why I'm in touch with this guy is because there's a program that is for kids, and it's a big every single year. It's the Yagan Kids program at Peter Yagan Golf Course. Okay,
Yep.
So that I had spoke with Andy about this, and I merely just he called me back. I think we were. I don't know what messages were relayed to whatever dialogue we had, but we had kind of a great conversation just as in regards to what Yagan Kids means to Andy. And Andy's the main head instructor, runs the whole thing, responsible for all 250, 500 kids, however many kids.
It's insane how many they get out.
Yeah, man. And then, you think, you're listening to this guy talking, you're like, okay, I've done some camps and, as a baseball guy or whatever. And he's like, yeah. And here's the best part, Tony. They're all holding golf clubs. Yeah. He's like, so safety is by far the most important thing to him in his mind when he's doing this. Regardless, here's a guy that is just building what this is, takes a lot of pride in family and passing things down through family, and truly, honestly believes that Yagan Kid's a great tool to pass down as well. And this guy's devoted to making this experience positive for your son or daughter. Just a really, really sound principled kind of guy. Got to speak with him for about 25, 30 minutes, and guy likes hockey too. Apparently, he's a hockey player.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah, skates a little here and there. I'm like, bro, I'm a beer league hero. What's up?
Basically, your clone there, huh?
Dude, yeah. What a cool dude. Yeah. So, anyways, Yagan Kids, Mitchell is a great program. Positively impacted many kids in the community, and it's led by a true leader. So, we will be launching some ads for that. But first and foremost, want to give a direct shout out to what they got going at Yagan Kids. So,
for sure, and so actually, I don't know if you know this, Tony. My brother CJ did Yagan Kids growing up and won one of their tournaments.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So, yep. So,
speaking
love
of
Yagan
that,
Kids.
I was going to ask you, your brother did come home this last weekend. How is your brother doing? How's
CJ is doing great. Yeah, he's home this whole week. So, they're on spring break. So, he's home this whole week and he's doing good. I tried to convince him to come on our show today. And he's like, no, man, it's just your show. I'm like, people come on. Like, you can come on. He's like, nah.
Oh, dude, it'd be awesome. Yeah, we should do he should be a part of the bracket pick.
I agree. I will try to convince him this week to
get someone
on
there,
that.
So.
We'll get someone on there. Maybe we'll get your dad too. Maybe we'll just have a whole party.
Just
Yeah.
I like it. Good deal. But exciting time for sports, weather's turning, and that's all I got, Mitchell.
Yeah, I want to give real quick. Let me look it up while I am rambling here because I can ramble like that. And I want to give a shout out to the Billings American Legion real quick because they are having their Hall of Fame dinner here in Billings next month in April. It is April 13th at the Doubletree Hotel.
All right.
So I want to give them a quick shout out. They've been really quite helpful to me. I mean, this whole podcast basically wouldn't be as big as it is without Legion. So
yeah. Heck yeah.
And then I mean, this whole summer I'm going to be doing some announcing for them. So
yeah,
that
should be good. Yeah, I used to love every time I think of announcing at the Cobb Field or Dealer Park. I think of Bob Samra.
I don't have that voice. I can tell you that.
Remember, his voice was like this. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Royal versus Scarlets tonight at Dealer Park.
Yep. I do not have that voice. What you're hearing now is basically what I announce with.
Yeah. See, if I was announcing those play-by-plays, I'd be like, Big Daddy Mitchell up to the dish now and takes a 0-2 pitch and turns on. Foul ball. Today's game brought to you by Mitchell.
See, it's hard. We don't do like the 0-2 count. We don't do anything like that. Well, it's basically just announce the player.
And show you how it's done.
No, like they told me, just announce the player and announce what happens, and that's it. And I'm like, okay, cool.
I like it. I'd love to sit in with you as a guest.
Heck yeah,
a guest host. I used to go on the radio. I won a competition when I was younger because I went on the radio it did the telecast of the or the radio broadcast of the Mustangs when I was like
nice.
8 or 9 or something like that. Yeah, sat up there.
Nice.
Beautiful night at Tom Hill.
I did that too for I was at Great Falls of the White Sox.
Oh, nice. The Voyage.
Yeah. Yep.
Anyways, good deal. Mitchell, it's time to get going for the day. I got to go.
Heck yeah. Real quick, what do you got going on this week?
Work. Yeah, just a lot of appointments as we continue to grow the Big Sky Life company from Montana. Many people to see, a lot of shareholders throughout the state. It's a Montana domiciled company. Hasn't been done in the last 52 years. Got a lot of legwork to do. So that's what I'll be.
Nice. So obviously I have my brother home for spring break, and then I will be on Adventures in Heels with Leah 3 times this week.
Whoa!
I will be on tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday.
Okay.
I'm her co-host.
All right. Yeah, listen in. Tune in on the radio.
Yes, that for people that are in Billings, that's on 98.5 The Wolf. And for people that aren't in Billings, it's on 98.5 The Wolf. Just look it up on the internet, and you'll be able to listen in from 11 to 1.
Let's go.
Yeah. So that's kind of my week in a nutshell. And again, thank you to our sponsors. We mentioned Peter Yeagan Golf. Huge thanks to them. Thanks to Leif Wellhaven Consulting. I just mentioned Leah. She's a part of that crew. So thank you so much to them for sponsoring us. Thank you to Erica Lipp. And then I'll let you do the last one because I know it's your favorite.
Oh, a special thank you. The most special. That folks, if you're trying to buy, right? The only thing you don't want to hear is a lie. That's why. When you buy, you want to hear is buyer. Neil, buyer. Neil, buyer. Neil, buyer. Real estate. Buy a house. Let's go.
But honestly, huge thanks to all of them. We wouldn't be doing this without them. So thank you.
With that level of intensity and passion for Neil's business, I'm getting to the point where I'm just a little confused as to why I have not been able to even meet this guy.
You know what? We'll make it happen at some point, okay?
Yeah, here's the deal. I can't keep pumping out these world-class spots for him and doing it for just, not even a smile.
And not even meeting the guy. No, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. We need to...
So I just don't... I feel almost kind of dirty about it now.
Yeah,
that was probably my last one for a while.
We need to get you to meet him so you can continue those amazing, spots for him. So
yeah,
we will make that happen at some point here. And but in the meantime, thank you so much to everybody that's listening and for your continued support. And we will be back hopefully next week, better than ever.
Hopefully. Mitchell.